So we have here the broken black lentil and rice which has been soaked overnight. So as you can see, this is kind of been soaked and all of it is kind of very pretty much swollen now. And once this is done overnight, we can actually, I'm gonna grind this down into a paste using a blender. Okay. Now, we have transferred a little bit of this mixture into the blender jar. So you should remember not to add too much water. This is the water that is already that was left behind for soaking these. And I would recommend that since these have already absorbed some amount of water, you should not add excess of it at the beginning. Just add little by little so that you have the consistency for this paste that I'm going to show. Alright? Now I'll show you how consistent this dough should be. So if you use a spoon and just pour it down, you can see how liquid this should be. It should be thick enough, and it should just pour down. So this is the right consistency that you would need to make dosa or even idli if you want to. Now once you have your batter that is ready, you can start to make dosas. And for that, first let's light up the flame and make sure to keep the flame at almost medium. Okay, just this much should be good. It should not be too hot when you're making the dosa. So, and for as you make dosas, you would also need clarified butter or ghee. So, or you can use any vegetable oil that you have. So I have some clarified butter here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use for now. So once you know that it's warm enough, so one way you can know if it's warm enough is by, say, putting a few drops of water and just noting when they would just disappear. That's the point. You can just start, say, heating up the dosa. So now you can see that it's kind of starting to evaporate, right? Yeah, so it's kind of warm enough to now start pouring in. So you can add salt into this. So generally you would prefer to ferment it. So if you want to ferment it, you would get a savory taste to it, and you would want to keep it at room temperature, say until it starts to ferment. Not to ferment it too much, but just ferment it to give it the savory flavor. And if not, you can also use it directly. If you don't want sour dosas, you can also still get nice and crisp dosas, but make sure that you add some salt into it. Okay, and once you have the salt in it, mix it pretty well, and say scoop out a few spoons of the dough, right, and then start spreading from the center. Okay, and then you go all the way out and out and out until you have like a approximate circle, So once you have like a circle like this, you can take some clarified butter and kind of pour over, you could also use a brush or an conventional oil applicator. So yeah. so that you don't, tear apart the dosa. Once it is getting ready, the edges start to come off, and make sure you're using a non-stick pan. So you can see that this just comes off by itself, and you can see that this would have like almost a nice golden hue here. So, and that's pretty much what you have to do to make a dosa. That's it. There you go. That's the first dosa. Now to proceed to making the banana dosa, what we have to do is to first make a banana puree. So this is the banana that I've taken, and just to give you a estimate of the size, and I'm going to make a puree out of this entire banana, and then I will show you in what proportion you should be mixing the puree with the already prepared batter to make the banana dosa. Okay, so 1 cup of batter of say this much quantity, this glass, can go with one whole banana. Okay, so that's the ratio in which we mix, and make sure that you still have a good fine paste and a good consistency. So if you prefer to have a very soury flavor to this, you should actually add overripe bananas, the bananas which are going all dark or getting darkened over the skin, and those are pretty soury and less sweet. So that's one thing you can actually kind of do. And so there are 2 ways to make this. You can actually make this soury but still sweet, or you can just use fresh bananas and have a sweet dessert, like pancake, or a dessert like dosa. Or you can actually blend in, say, chili peppers with this green chili peppers which are fresh, or you can just add them, chop them up, and you can add spices to this. You can add cumin seeds. You can have lots of such options to make it like a combination of, say, sweet, sour, and spicy dosa. Once the pan has become warmed up again, we can actually go ahead and make the banana dosa here, right? So you can say pour in some batter. You can measure it as 2 to 3 spoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons of whatever spoon size I've taken here, like this much, and then slowly start spreading it out. And remember, the flame should be mid, add the medium. Right? Yep, that's the first banana dosa that we're making. This is all ready, and this is all getting this would be much more fluffy and soft compared to the other one, so you better make sure that it spends a lot of time on a medium flame, and it becomes to just starts to come off. But you can see that the batter here, as you try to pull it off, it's still uncooked, so you better let it cook. It might brown pretty easily at this point, so just take care of that. But it's fine. It shouldn't give a bad taste or anything. And obviously we all prefer crispy dosas, right? Dosas are meant to be thin, paper-like, and crisp. So, and once you can just lift it off with your fingers. Wow! Look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous, right? So yeah, so that's pretty much what we have for today. And let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to email me. And if you feel like you ever need to talk in person, you can set up a time. Thank you.